everyone, it's Sarah. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for being here. So in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys along as I set up a new bullet journal. So unlike my main bullet journal, which is all about planning and writing out my tasks, this one is going to be all about books and tracking and writing about all the books that I read. So here I'm setting up a cover page for this journal, and I'm using black scrap paper throughout this entire theme to decorate the edges of the pages, and I'll also use some craft paper on the other pages as well. And then I'm just writing out reading journal, and for the decoration of this page I sketched out a feather pen and a little thing of ink for it. And while I finish up this page, I thought I'd let you guys know a little bit about my reading history and what I plan to use this journal for. So I've been a big reader for my whole life, but I've gone in phases where I felt more or less passionate about reading, and I've also gone through phases where different genres and types of books have appealed to me. So for around the last 5 or 6 years, I've only read nonfiction, personal development, and spirituality books. But a few months ago, I discovered BookTube, and I went down the rabbit hole of book-related content on YouTube, and I realized that I really miss reading fictional stories, especially since I grew up reading them all the time. So I've been building up some lists of books I want to read, and I also started reading any fiction books that are in my bookshelf at the moment that I haven't gotten to yet. And now I'm just obsessed, and I want to read all of them, especially since there are so many books and series that have come out in the gap where I wasn't reading. So I just feel like there are so many gems that I get to read now, and I'm so excited to do that. So I plan to use this journal to capture spreads like my TBRs, book reviews, favorite quotes, and more. So I hope you guys enjoy seeing how I set up those spreads throughout the rest of the video. Before we continue, I want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creatives and curious people. There are classes on creative writing, illustration, and marketing, just to name a few, so whether you're looking to hone in on an existing skill or learn something totally new, Skillshare is the place to explore your creativity. One of the most powerful uses of art is to invoke change in the world, and this Skillshare course called Artivism: Create Inspiring Art for Change by Nicholas Smith is all about teaching you how to tap into whatever cause you are passionate about and express it through art. Whether you are a practiced artist already or you're just starting out, this course will teach you how to create meaningful art with a clear message. The first 1,000 people to click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare's premium membership, and after that it's just $10 a month. Thanks again, Skillshare, and let's get back to the video. So like I mentioned before, I'm going to be using this black paper as my decoration throughout this journal. So as you guys may know, I do monthly bullet journal themes in my other bullet journal, the one that's for planning. And in this one, I just thought it'd be a lot simpler, since I'm already doing that over on my other bullet journal, to just keep one theme throughout this entire journal. So that's what I'm using this black paper for, and you'll see later that I add doodles on top of the paper. And I'm also trying out a tab feature in these first pages, so I will pop the creator that I was inspired by for this idea on the screen now. And I just think this is a really fun way to kind of make it look almost like a binder and separate out these first pages. So that's what I spent the next few minutes doing, because I was too excited to see how that looked before actually setting up the spreads. And I'm also pasting in the black paper because it was kind of falling all over the place before I had glued it down. So here's how the tabs look after they're all done. How cool is that? I really love that. So the first full spread I'm making is a bookshelf spread, and on this one I'm going to track my physical collection of books. So my goal with my physical book collection is to only have books that I really loved reading and that I got something out of and that were very meaningful for me. So for any new books that I pick up going forward, I'm going to start with the digital copy of the book and read that on my ebook reader, and then if I end up really loving it and enjoying it, I will go ahead and buy the physical copy and add it to my bookshelf. I just love the idea that every book on my bookshelf will be one that I absolutely love. And for the books that I already own, I'm in the process of donating any that I picked up in the past that I didn't love, because I used to just pick up any book and give it a go. And of course there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm just on kind of like a minimalism journey myself with the items and belongings that I own, and of course books are included in that. So now I am just drawing some books on this bookshelf, and some of these turned out really wonky, but I think the end result is okay. So I just did the left side of the spread for now, and then I'm gonna eventually go in and draw the right side as well, and I'm also gonna go in later and write out the book names in very tiny letters. Here I had the idea of just doing little star and celestial doodles on the black paper, and I thought that looked pretty cool, so I decided to do that throughout the whole theme. And I just went back to the cover page to add those in there. And then I think the spread looks a lot more completed with those little doodles. And then here I'm coloring in the tabs with my black pen so that I can write the name of each section in white pen on top of that. The next spread is going to be a place to capture all of the books that I have read, and to do that I'll be pasting a little printed out photo of each book cover onto this spread. And this spread is totally an idea that I got from Journal with Chloe here on YouTube. She has a really amazing channel about books, and she has a separate journaling channel, so highly recommend checking her out. So I made 2 whole spreads for the books that I've read, and I think there's around 30 something slots here for books, and I don't really have like a reading goal necessarily since I'm just getting back into reading, so I'm just gonna fill in as many as I can, and I can also keep using this next year or whenever if I haven't filled them up. My goal is actually to be able to use these spreads for at least 2 years or so, since I left a lot of space on each one. Also, while I was setting up this part, I didn't have the book covers printed out yet, but I did have them printed by the end of the video, so I'll show you how they look when they're in here at the end. The next section is going to be for my TBR lists, and I actually left 6 pages for this because I know they are going to fill up and I want to have plenty of space. So I'm just basically making this kind of like old ripped paper effect with my pen, and then I cut out these banners made out of craft paper, and I'm just using that for the headers on each page. Now I am writing in the header for each section, and in the top banner section I'm just going to put TBR on each page, and then for each page I'm going to have a different theme. So on the first one it's going to be series, so fictional series, and then on the right side it's going to be standalone books, so fiction standalone, and then on the third page it's going to be non-fiction books. And then going forward I didn't name the rest, but basically whatever space I run out of I will fill in with whatever type I need. And I just thought it would help to separate it out so that the lists don't look super overwhelming and they have a little bit more organization to them. My next spread is going to be a best books of 2021 spread, so I will come in at the end of the year and rank my top 7 books of the year. And I chose the number 7 for the spread because that's the amount of space I had for these boxes that I drew. And I did these little post-it style boxes with washi tape and a little number for each one. My next spread is going to be a place to put all of my favorite quotes from books that I read, and realistically it won't be all my favorite quotes because I realized that I only left one spread for this and there's not a ton of room, so I'm gonna have to save it for just like the best of the best quotes. So this is where I'm gonna put those quotes, and I set this spread up to look kind of like an open book where I could write things in. I think it was an interesting idea, but this is probably my least favorite spread in the setup. I just think it turned out okay. Next we have a spread where I'm introducing basically the whole rest of this journal, and it is going to be book reviews. So I'm going to use the rest of this journal to write about all the books that I read and give each one a little review, and maybe do some collaging for each one just to make it look kind of artsy. I set up this kind of like cover page for the book reviews section, and I set it up as like a little internet browser, and then the files below have just like a bunch of genres. And then on the right side I have two boxes, and it's going to be a table of contents for the book reviews. So it'll have the book on the left side, and then on the right side it'll have the page number where you can find my review for that book. So here is a final flip through of all of my spreads in this reading journal, starting out with my cover page. Oh yeah, and then here's like an overview of what the tabs look like after I was done. I had to redo a couple of them off camera, and then I also cut the cover page to be smaller so that you could see the tabs from that page. And then here's my bookshelf page, and then my spreads to keep track of the books that I've read. And then here's where I'm gonna add in the books that I've read already this year to this spread. Then we have my TBR spreads, and I skipped a page, but there's supposed to be 3 spreads for that. Then we have my best books of the year, my favorite quotes, and the start of my reviews. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that if you have a reading journal or have been wanting to make one, then you got some inspiration from this video. And thank you guys so much for watching all the way to the end. If you're not subscribed already, be sure to do that down below, as well as liking this video. It really helps me out, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!